Hi. So it's not 7:30 and it's not 8 o'clock. I split it down the middle. It's walk for life today. And so we got to get out of the house and, get on the move. And I like keeping you guys on your toes, always ready for a Bible study at any moment. We made it down to verse 26 yesterday in Matthew chapter 10. And so we'll be starting off in Matthew 27. Ooh, this is a fun little section here. Whatever I tell you in the dark, speak in the light, and what you hear in the ear, preach on the housetops. And do not fear those who kill the body, but cannot kill the soul, but rather fear him who is able to destroy both soul and body in hell. Are not two sparrows sold for a copper coin, and not one of them falls to the ground apart from your Father's will? But the very hairs on your head are all numbered. Do not fear, therefore. You are of more value than many sparrows. Okay, so first to answer Melissa's question, the baby's, I actually don't know where the baby is. She's somewhere. She's fine, I'm sure. She can't crawl. She can roll, I guess, so you could get some. Now with mom, I'm sure. I just came in from outside working out. All right, so though, so we have some verses here that are in the context that really applies to them. And if you're watching from America, not us. In fact, if you're watching from most first world countries, not us. Now, I know I got a few of you who join us and they are not from America. But that said, I'm going to work this from far to near, maybe less applicable to us, drawing it closer to much more applicable to us, because the fear they had was literally being stoned to death as blasphemers. Most of you don't have that as an excuse. You're not actually fearing for your life to share the gospel. Now, the reality of it is there are many people today who this is really true for them. That the voice of the martyrs can fill you in on the blanks if you aren't aware that there are people all over the world who are sharing the gospel. And their fear is for their life. And so Jesus assures them, hey, don't fear those who can kill the body. You need a greater fear for him who can destroy both the body and the soul. Have the fear of God in you. The fear of God, the beginning of all wisdom, the beginning of all knowledge. It's a fountain of life. The fear of God is a good thing. And so he assures them that God cares for the sparrow. His eye is on the sparrow, right? And I know he watches me. So if he cares about the sparrows, how much more you? He mentions the very hairs of your head are numbered. And I love that verse because the grammar, the Greek, right? It's not that God knows the number of hairs on your head. It means that he knows each hair by number. So as God looks at Steve's head, he can go, that one right there, that's hair number 837. And this one over here, that's hair number 52. And over here, that's hair number 1038. And see, God knows your hairs by number. He knows everything about you. He has you very much in his mind, in his plans. You're not overlooked and you're not forgotten. And so as they face death, he's having them trust in God, to not worry about death, being stoned, being crucified. And if you read about the death of the 12 apostles and the rest, right? Luke and Mark and all these guys who weren't apostles, well, you find out that all but John will die a gruesome death, right? Some of them pinned to the ground and skinned alive. I want to say it was Simon the Zealot who was sawn in two from the bottom up with a wooden saw. Many of them were crucified. speared, clubbed. They would all die these gruesome deaths. And John doesn't die a gruesome death. That's my alarm saying it's almost time to do Bible study. John doesn't die a gruesome death, but he's boiled in hot oil. Have you ever done some fry cooking and that little splatter hits you? Right. Being put into the fry cooker. And then you survive and live for years in whatever kind of condition that is. The point being is that this did not stop them from sharing the gospel. These people who are fearing of death today aren't afraid of sharing the gospel. And so the question for you is what are you afraid of? To be honest, fear is always everyone's excuse. In fact, I don't know of another excuse to not share the gospel. All right, I don't know of an excuse of, why you don't share the gospel. Why don't you share the gospel with more people? It's fear. I'm open for alternatives if anyone wants to toss one out there. If you don't think you know what to say, well, then you might not be saved. Because if you're saved, well, you know how you got there, and therefore you know what to say. But it's fear of rejection, and maybe even of rejection. I don't think any of you who listen to me, at least, are fearing for your life. You're not fearing for your physical safety. You're not feared probably of even losing your house or your home or your job. I mean, some of us could lose our jobs, but most of us probably could be tactful and still share the gospel and not lose our jobs, or just share it somewhere else, right? The point is that fear is the reason why people don't share the gospel. And fear is not from the Lord. How many times does the Bible say fear not? I've heard it says it 365 times, never been able to verify that. Tried, and I've even read people who've tried, but someone at some point did come up with that number. We don't know how they got it, but it's over 300 that do not fear, fear not, etc. It's over 300 times the Bible does say to not fear. Jesus said it quite a few times. Now, when God tells you to not do something and you do it, it's not what we're supposed to be doing, right? And so, hey, there's a handful of you guys watching. I'm still open for ideas here. Is there a reason why more Christians don't share the gospel apart from fear? Well, then what we need to do, maybe in addition to, supplementary to, you praying and asking God to remove those fears, because a lot of us do that. And Melissa's right, actually, laziness. Laziness is an excuse, but it's a cause, right? I mean, most of us we can confess we're lazy, but it's, you know what I mean? It's laziness. Apathy. We just don't care that people are going to go to hell. I mean, I don't always try and be a downer. I just try and be logical, forward. I don't have any other ideas for you guys. I'm just saying, talking about the things people don't like talking about, but I don't got anything else. So, aside from apathy and laziness as the why, fear being our greatest reason, if we ask why don't you do it? I mean, it's just, I just don't want to, which, was it Spurgeon? Do you have no concern for the salvation of souls? Well, then you're hardly saved yourself. Spurgeon said it, not me. Don't shoot the messenger. But now, back to the fear thing. Maybe you pray that God takes away those fears. That's a good thing to do. Daily. Remove my fear of sharing the gospel. But secondly now, number 2, this one's probably equally important and maybe even more effective if you can make it work. Pray for fear. More fear. Lots of it. Boatloads of it. Godly fear. Do not fear him who can kill the body, but him who can kill both soul and body in hell. God, give me that fear. Give me the fear of the Lord. God, help me fear you and your righteous judgment that you will cast upon the unrighteous. Give me a fear for their souls. Help me be afraid of these people going to hell. Not just the blasphemers and the adulterers and the idolaters. God, give me a healthy, realistic fear about my son and my sister and my mom who, oh yeah, they've received the Lord. They just don't go to church. God, make me frightened that they could be false converts. Do not let me become apathetic and lullaby myself to sleep thinking all these people who say they're Christians and don't go to church and don't read the Bible, and don't give me a peace about that. That's the last thing I need. That's the last thing you need. Are your kids saved but not going to church? I'll ask that again though. Are your kids saved if they're not going to church? Now, I know I don't want to think that. I don't want to feel that. But I don't want to end up in heaven and go looking for them and can't find them because I thought I'd expect to see them there because they told me they were saved. Again, going to church doesn't make you saved, just like going to the garage doesn't make you a car. We all know that, right? Going to the donut shop doesn't make you a cop. It was a joke. Okay, lighten the mood a little, but still. But we should have a godly fear for them. We should have an earnest fear and have no peace in our souls until we see the transformation take place. Did they used to go to church? Why not now? If God transformed them, why would they fall away? And so God, give me a fear of you and a fear for them that exceeds and overshadows and just eliminates my fear of rejection, my fear of judgment, my fear of what people think about me. Give me a righteous fear that helps me fight the fear that cripples me and makes me so unusable. We need to pray that God would give us that righteous fear of the Lord. It's a good thing. Just like you had a father. Now, not all of us had good dads. Some people had really bad dads. But if you snuck out and came home late and were afraid that dad would catch you, you had a good dad. And that's the kind of fear you want to have, because you realize when I'm not where I'm supposed to be, I don't want dad to find out because I know he's going to get on my case. That's the fear of the Lord. When I realize I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, I'm not behaving the way I should behave, and I'm not loving the way I ought to love, well, the fear of dad corrects me and sends me down the path I need to be on. So pray for some fear and see some souls get saved. All of you. See, on my side of the phone, it puts little bubbles up here and I can see the people who watch. I know who I'm talking to. If you're watching live, have that fear. Talk to your brothers. Make sure they're saved. Talk to your husband. Talk to your daughters. Talk to your mom. Make sure you know where they're at and have no peace until you do. God bless you guys. Have a great day. If you want to go walk to save some babies, meet me down at the fairgrounds. I think it's 9 o'clock. Show up a little early so you can register. God bless you guys.